The president of the Nigerian Institute of Building, Honorable Builder Abimbola Kolade, has called on the 10th National Assembly to urgently provide legal backing for the implementation of the National Building Code to curb the rising cases of building collapse across the country. He made a call in Abuja, describing the increasing incidence of structural failures as a major threat to lives and property.
Lack of professionals, being fully involved, in these building production management processes, you can say that yes, that we can be ascribed as a chief, a chief reason for this collapse of buildings. And what could have even empower us as professionals today to do that, which will be the Nigerian National Building Code. Yes, no, the building code is there, but it's not been given the legal teeth, for it to bite. So today we say, oh, since 2006 thereabout, a Nigerian building code has been produced and it's been there, but there's no legal teeth for it to bite today. So the paper is just there and not that. So it's one reason that we are saying the National Assembly needs to look into this issue of National Building Code and at least allow it to be operational. At least give it the necessary legal teeth that it needs to be able to buy and control things. And if this is in place, we believe that at least, if not for anything, it will assist and help, to minimize, the issues of collapse of building.
Kolade attributed the frequent collapse of buildings in Nigeria to the activities of unqualified practitioners, the use of substandard construction materials, poor compliance with approved building standards, and failure to conduct proper soil investigations before construction. He stressed that giving legal authority to the building code would empower relevant professional bodies to sanction quacks and enforce compliance across the construction industry. He also warned that any registered professional found compromising standards would face disciplinary action in accordance with the law.
We must ensure that our members, perform their duties and responsibilities, as professionals on any site. And this we advocate even amongst our people that please don't let the issue of monetary gain, overshadow your responsibility as a professional. At any point where any of our members seems to seem to be compromising, the institute has requisite, processes for such an individual to be disciplined.
Also speaking, civil servant Solomon Abayomi said responsibility for building collapse should not rest on one group alone. He noted that developers, site engineers, regulatory agencies, and government authorities all have important roles to play in ensuring safe construction practices. Abayomi called for stricter enforcement of existing regulations to eliminate mediocrity and improve accountability in the building sector.
It's about time of the year again where we hear most of building collapse due to rain, maybe flooding in some areas, but bearing the responsibility, I think the developer first and second, government also should do more on regulation, because I said government should do more on regulation because if where there are no laws, there are no sins. And I believe there are agencies responsible for making sure that their building approval, the sites are okay, there are checks on the materials that are to be used for this building, and possibly a structure that a particular land terrain can hold.
A civil engineer, Engineer Chibuike Eze, urged Nigerians to engage only qualified professionals for building projects. According to him, proper structural design, soil testing, quality supervision, and adherence to engineering standards are essential to preventing building failures. He explained that the nature of the soil must determine the type and size of any structure, whether a bungalow or a high-rise building, to guarantee safety and durability.
Building is something that is very deep and wide. It's something scientific. It's just that sometimes we don't understand it that way. I'm talking as a professional now. When you want to build, first of all, you must start from the soil. if the soil is conducive, your archaeologists should be able to tell you. You consult the archaeologists, they will take the land study to know whether it's a soil land or a porous land, whether it's a water land. So all this is the work of the archaeology. They will make their surveyor and tell you that this land is good enough for you.
Access 24 News reports that the recent building collapses in Lagos, Cross River, and River states have renewed concerns over construction standards in Nigeria. Stakeholders are therefore urging governments at all levels to strengthen regulatory oversight and ensure that only qualified professionals handle construction projects to prevent further loss of lives and property.